Welcome to Oxford News. This week, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. And in this week's local news, who is suing the village this time? And find out who the benefactor was for the Oxford's American Legion Post 108.
Stay tuned to learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Oxford Village Police and ambulance were dispatched to Pleasant Street, where a man was reported pinned under a vehicle that he was repairing, and the car slipped off the jack, crushing his chest. When help arrived, the 53-year-old Wolverine Lake resident could not be resuscitated and was pronounced dead at the scene.
Police were called to the Oxford High School on a report that two 15-year-old students were caught drinking alcohol on school grounds. Both boys were given breathalyzer tests and turned over to their parents. The police report was sent to the Oakland County Circuit Court for further court consideration.
And Oxford Village officers were sent to Sanders Road on a complaint that a resident saw an arcing transformer with fire traveling down the wires. Thanks to the actions of the resident and the local Oxford police, a more severe problem may have been diverted.
A prior village planning commissioner, Dale Walecki, filed a lawsuit against the village, claiming the village violated its ordinances during the site plan approval process for a property located next door to his Washington Street home. Walecki is asking that Oakland County Circuit Court stop the development. However, village attorney Bob Davis described the claim as frivolous and without merit because the village refused to become the arbiter of a private driveway dispute between Walecki and his neighbor. The Village Planning Commission concluded that no further action be made without first having the property owners defend and define their boundary issues and work to dissolve their own differences.
Edison Township Public Library will ask voters to approve a new additional 10-year property tax of 0.25 mils on the upcoming August ballot. If approved, taxpayers will be paying a total of 0.82 mils. The millage will go to offset loss of state revenues and will help to cover additional expenses which arrived with the upsizing of the new Edison Library location.
The Oxford American Legion Post 108 on Drainer Road was awarded a $5,600 grant from the Home Depot Foundation. This week, the money was used to purchase new fixtures, materials, and supplies to fix up their building. More than 50 volunteers made short work of the improvements, donating their own time away from 10 Home Depot stores from as far away as Detroit. For an organization that's given so much to our local community, it's great to see Home Depot and its employees take care of our American Legion heroes at Post 108. Hats off to Home Depot this week and their dedicated employees.
Clear Lake Elementary School recently held its annual spring fair. The thinking is that the fair would encourage spring to arrive soon. The school was transformed into one big giant carnival filled with fun and games. Behind me is a picture of Oxford resident Sasha Kia Waters, and she's painting a pirate's face on Brendan Everhart. Ah, spring is coming, me hearty.
I sure hope it's coming soon. I know that it doesn't feel like it yet, but the birds are letting us know that spring is coming. Everybody's getting excited. Everybody's attitude has changed. I really hope the sunshine starts coming out.
Well, you know, for the first time, I saw two chubby little robins on my yard, or in the backyard. And no turkeys yet.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want the turkeys or the geese yet, because your yard needs that grass to grow first before they trample it and destroy it.
They can kind of churn it up pretty good. Well,
you know,
Terry?
I saw a thing on Facebook. Don't rake your yard yet. There's what looks like mold out there, and it is snow mold, if you ever heard of such a thing. But don't rake it yet. I know you want to get out there and do it, but stay away from that rake.
That's a new one.
Save
I never heard of snow that was moldy. Moldy snow.
The horticulturists I know put that on Facebook, so don't do it. Don't do anything that's going to hurt your lawn yet, so relax and enjoy spring. And that's it for this week's news. If you want to learn more about these stories and others, stop by our local stores and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper.
And coming up next, OCTV, more news. First with Oxford local sports, then join Dave Kenny with his automotive talk show and Science in the News programs. Right after those reports, I'll be back with your weekly calendar of events.
This is Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Okay, well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was too graphic for the kids, so I'm going to have to block you.
You know, I got to make this
That's
up.
really not
This is Vinny's watch.
Hi, I'm Paul,
I'm Stephanie.
and we're from the Oxford Yoga Studio in downtown Oxford. We're a new studio, and we're opening up at the end of April this month. So come check us out. We're also doing Rise and Shine Yoga that is on every morning at 8:30. So if you get a chance, want to do some yoga, come on down, and we'll see you hopefully at the end of April.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, the U.S. Department of Transportation has finalized a set of federal standards for rear visibility that'll require all new vehicles under 10,000 pounds to have backup cameras by mid-2018. The final rule was released one day before the administration was scheduled to defend itself in federal circuit court against safety advocates who sued the government over the delays. The rules will phase in over several years. Automakers will be required to have compliant rear-view systems in 10% of the vehicles they build from May 1st, 2016 to May 1st, 2017. That share rises to 40% for the next year and 100% starting on May 1st of 2018. And good news at Chrysler. Strong demand for Jeeps and Ram pickups helped Chrysler Group's U.S. sales advance 13% in March, extending the company's streak of gains to 48 months. Ram pickup deliveries rose 26% last month, and sales at Jeep climbed 47%. The introduction of the midsize Cherokee and revamped 2014 Grand Cherokee have bolstered Jeep deliveries in recent months. Overall, Chrysler truck sales rose 34%, but car volume skidded 25%, the company said. Well, on the recall front, in addition to the massive ongoing GM ignition switch recall and subsequent congressional hearings, GM has issued even further recalls. General Motors says that it will recall more than 1.3 million older model cars that could experience a sudden loss of electric power, expanding a safety crisis that now includes 8 separate recalls covering nearly 6 million vehicles over the past 6 weeks. The latest recall includes 7 models, mostly from the mid-2000s, including the Chevrolet Malibu HHR and Cobalt, the Saturn Aura and Ion, and the Pontiac G6. GM said a sudden loss of power steering would make it harder for the driver to control the car and increase the risk of a crash. The fix involves replacing the power steering motor, the steering column, the power steering motor control, or a combination of those systems depending on the model. And still at GM, General Motors issued 2 more safety recalls March 29th, covering 490,000 full-size pickups and SUVs, as well as 172,000 Chevrolet Cruze models. The 2 recalls announced March 29th include the redesigned 2014 Chevrolet Silverado and GM Sierra 1500 pickups, and the just-launched 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban and GMC Yukon and Yukon XL. The issue is a possible transmission line leak that could result in a fire. GM said the trucks might have a transmission oil cooler line that is not securely seated in its fitting. That could cause transmission oil to leak from the fitting, drip onto a hot surface, and start a vehicle fire. GM is also recalling some 2013 to 2014 Cruzes with a 1.4-liter turbo gasoline engine to replace a right front axle half shaft that can fracture and separate without warning during normal driving, the company said. And switching to Chrysler, Chrysler Group's LLC is recalling 867,700 Jeep Grand Cherokee and Dodge Durango SUVs to install the shield to protect brake boosters from water corrosion. Vehicles from the model years 2011 to 2014 will be inspected and the boosters replaced where necessary, according to the automaker. Chrysler started an investigation involving customer complaints about excessive brake pedal firmness. Chrysler said it's aware of 1 related accident, but no injuries. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
Thank you for calling your GED Pep Talk Center. All right, now are you ready for your GED Pep Talk?
Being nervous is okay. It just shows that you're serious about getting your diploma.
All right, listen, we all need a little nudge sometimes. I don't function without coffee in the morning, but it is going to take more than a double mochaccino to help you here.
A lot of things are scary. Heck, I'm scared of clowns.
No quiero ir. Danny, no lo puedo hacer. Quiero ir. Danny, lo voy a hacer.
DMC, liking your pep talk style.
Just keeping it real, Debs. Just keeping it real.
Louder! Louder! I'm gonna get my GED! Come on! Get your GED! Hey.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm Stephanie.
And we're from the Oxford Yoga Studio in downtown Oxford. We're a new studio and we're opening up at the end of April this month. So come check us out. We're also doing Rise and Shine Yoga that is on every morning at 8:30. So if you get a chance, want to do some yoga, come on down. And we'll see you hopefully at the end of April.
Looking forward to it.
I'm John Oetjens, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. Oxford High School's robotics team Torque, Team 2137, has started off their competition season with a bang as they won the Chairman's Award at the Great Lakes Bay Region District in March. This is given to the team that best serves as a model for others to emulate. This is the second time in 3 years that Torque has won this award. The kids had to answer 10 short essay questions, write a 10,000-character paper, create a 5-minute presentation, a 3-minute video, and pass interviews with judges. They're at the state competitions this week. Good luck, Torque 2137. Now that the kindergarten age has been raised, there's a lot of concern about opportunities for kids born between the beginning of June and December of 2009. The good news is the new Young Fives program. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Jim Schwartz fills us in.
Yes, the Young Fives program is in response to the state's rollback of the kindergarten entrance age. Currently, we are accepting students in Oxford with birthdays being 5 years old from June 1st, 2009, right up through December 1st of 2009. Any student in that age bracket is certainly welcome to enroll in a Young Fives program. And a Young Fives program is simply a developmental program. It's really geared for those students who, they've completed a preschool program, a 4-year-old preschool program, but not necessarily quite ready for the rigors of a full kindergarten schedule. That being not only just the scheduling of kindergarten, but also the rigor of kindergarten in terms of Common Core curriculum and all of those requirements. A Young Fives program is one that is more steeped in play still. It's a slower paced curriculum, and it's a great transition from a preschool setting into a full-fledged kindergarten setting. So for those parents, particularly that used to enjoy a half-day kindergarten, this is a nice transition into kindergarten, having this year between 4-year-old preschool and 5-year-old kindergarten.
Dr. Jim Schwartz. This is an all-day, everyday program. You can pre-enroll online at the Oxford Schools website. Later, you will need 2 proofs of residency, an original birth certificate, a health appraisal, immunization records, a vision test, and a current driver's license. Transportation is even available for residents. There's been a lot of talk about our new partnership with Aqua Club, known as the Aqua Club at Oxford. This group picks up where Parks and Rec left off in managing swimming activities in our high school. Aqua Club principal Nim Shapira, a 2-time Olympian in swimming, was at the last school board meeting and commented on the opportunities that we have.
The community here is screaming for aquatic access. Your facility is not just good, like Mike said, it's unbelievable. Okay, I swam in that facility already a few times. There is a huge potential, not only in excellence, but also monetary. Okay, you always want to kind of, in order to bring good coaches, just like Mike said, like Chris, you have to pay. You have to build a system that will support the coaches and the kids. So it's been quite successful. We have a lot of contacts from the community wanting to do open swimming, wanting to do competitive, wanting to do any sort of playing in the pool, So anything that the community wants, we're here to accommodate.
Nim Shapira, Director of Athletics Mike Watson, was also at the meeting. Chris Sullivan, a 5-time All-American swimmer, is helping out locally with this program. Music education continues to be alive and well in Oxford. The National Association of Music Merchants says Oxford Schools is one of the best communities for music education. The NAMM program is in its 15th year. It judges districts on funding, staffing of highly qualified teachers, commitment to standards, and access to music instruction. We are reminded that here in Oxford, we have access to everything from pre-K through 3rd Suzuki Strings programs, to the high school theater program and the Oxford Arts Conservatory. That's the Oxford Wildcat Schools update for this week. Join us next time when we have a special guest from the Oxford Schools. I'm John Oetjens for Oxford Community Television. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Jim Schwartz, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction at the Oxford Community Schools. And I'm just putting an open invitation out to folks who might be interested in our Young Fives program, our developmental kindergarten program that is going to be opening in each building that we have this fall. This is for any parent who is thinking about kindergarten, but maybe your child's not quite ready for kindergarten and the rigors of kindergarten. A Young Fives program would be for you. Having finished a 4-year-old preschool program, this is a nice transition into the rigors of a kindergarten program. Young Fives is a program that is steeped in play, but still offering a great preparation for Common Core and the rigors of our national curriculum that starts in kindergarten. If you have a child who's been born in June 1st of 2009 to December 1st of 2009, we certainly welcome you to enroll at our enrollment offices on 10 North Washington, right in downtown. Come on in, bring proof of residency, birth certificate, and we will get you registered. We are looking forward to classrooms being available for students in buildings across the district. Transportation is provided by the school district for this great opportunity. And again, we have an open invitation and we hope you join us in Oxford Schools.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm Stephanie.
And we're from the Oxford Yoga Studio in downtown Oxford. We're a new studio and we're opening up at the end of April this month. So come check us out. We're also doing Rise and Shine Yoga that is on every morning at 8:30. So if you get a chance, want to do some yoga, come on down. And we'll see you hopefully at the end of April.
Looking forward to it.
And welcome to Oxford Sports. I'm Jamie Hughes. I hope you're doing well wherever you're tucked in. Lady Wildcat Soccer has already been on the air here at OCTV. Check our broadcasts out on Saturdays, 12:30 to 6:30. Stony Creek's offense was on full display at the Oxford True Blue Turf as the Cougars ran their record up to 3-0, which could only mean one thing. Oxford lost in that contest. In the Mercy Rule contest, Stony Creek Cougars dominated the entire soccer match 9-1. Again, they won over Oxford. You can catch that game coming up this Saturday along with the JV game, and that will be 12:30 to 6:30. We do run our sports. The Oxford Sports, again, if you missed any of the on-air broadcasts, I urge you to check our website out, occtv.org. Hit the Programs tab. And we're going to do something a bit new here, just to debut some of our athletes of the past. Oxford has a Hall of Fame wall at the Ian Smith Gymnasium, and is part of many of the Oxford tradition. Ed Stoll was part of the Oxford High School Athletic Hall of Fame as one of the best student athletes of the 1970s. The three-sport athlete earned 8 total varsity letters through his career, 3 in football, 2 in basketball, 3 in baseball. During a period where the freshmen were part of the middle school and were not eligible for the competition, I'm sure he would have racked up a few more. Upon entering high school in 10th grade, Stoll earned a starting quarterback job for the Wildcats, a position which he then would keep for the next 3 seasons. He also handled the punting duties and even played as a backup linebacker under coaches Al Armstrong and Tom Dana. Ironically, in 2004, Ed's son Ryan would surpass him in scoring with 636 points. Stoll would be named ideal senior by his peers. He would win the Oxford Cup back at the graduation in 1976. While in the classroom, Stoll would be on the National Honor Society member and a 2-year member of the Student Council. Despite being recruited by many universities to go and play baseball, he would then go on to Michigan State University to fulfill his longtime dream of becoming an engineer. Once again, Ed Stoll, one of the many members that you can see in the Oxford Hall of Fame at the Ian Smith Gymnasium. I urge you to go over there and check it out. It's kind of an inspiring wall to check out. Many athletes there. We'll be debuting them over the next few weeks. And again, if you're looking for any of the schedules, I know parents are always kind of concerned about scheduling and when the athletes are going to be doing what they got to do. Go to Google, type in Oxford Sports, Oxford, Michigan, and you'll be drawn to the Oxford High School website. It's definitely a long address, but you'll be brought there. It tells you all the schedules and events that are coming up and when they are going to happen if you want to attend or if you need to know where your student is going to be. Again, we do broadcast all our sporting contests between 12:30 and 6:30 on Saturdays. And again, we also broadcast on our website, occtv.org. Hit the Programs tab. You'll catch all the sports, even the programs that we've aired on here on the TV channel. Again, we mentioned this last week. Now it's your turn, young broadcasters. I need your help. Oxford Little League will be part of the summer sports, and we are asking you to put together a sports cast, including scores and highlights. We'd like to air you. Maybe you're a up-and-coming broadcaster. We'll put you on OCTV. Parents, you have a chance as well to help out as well during those Little League competitions. There's a slight rule. Don't just tape your student or your athlete. Make sure to get the entire game, and we ask that it might not be a shaky camera. Again, there's Oxford Sports. I do hope you have yourself a good one. Oxford Community Television will continue on. I'll be back next week. I'm Jamie Hughes, and this is OCTV Sports.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you. Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Welcome to this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. What a striking display of the greatest powers on Earth. layers of rock stacked over millions of years, ripped apart by tectonic forces. This satellite image is of the Pichang Fault in northwestern China. The horizontal stripes are geological layers that have been scrunched up and pushed to the surface by the Indian tectonic plate colliding with the Eurasian plate. In each band of stripes, the colored layers from green to red span about 50 million years, capturing pivotal moments in our planet's history. Take, for example, the lower green layer, representing the moss blankets that thrived in the Silurian period. It gives way to a thin pale blue stripe in the middle, formed by the early Devonian about 400 million years ago. This is when ferns and shrubs came onto their own, full of insects and other creepy crawlers like mites and scorpions. By the mid-Devonian, the large red band, rooted shrubs had cropped up, soon followed by Earth's first trees. A deep vertical fault line splits the mountains in two. Those to the right of the picture are sliding northwards at a rate between 5 and 10 centimeters a year, and that's about as fast as your fingernails grow, says geologist John Crossgrove of Imperial College in London. As you can see, they have been traveling for quite some time. The 3-kilometer offset between them took tens of thousands of years to form. Well, next story is in space. It could one day answer the prayers of astronauts who need surgery in deep space. The miniature surgeon slides into the body through an incision in the belly button. Once inside the abdominal cavity, which has been filled with inert gas to make room for it to work, the robot can remove an ailing appendix, cutting pieces from a diseased colon or perforating a gastric ulcer. The fist-sized doctor, a product of Virtual Incision in Lincoln, Nebraska, will have its first zero-gravity test in an aircraft flying in parabolic arcs in the next few months. While aloft, the surgery bot will perform a set of exercises to demonstrate its dexterity, such as manipulating rubber bands and other inanimate objects. The hope is that such robots will accompany future astronauts on long deep space missions, when the chances are higher that someone will experience physical trauma. It must be an emergency if you would consider surgery in space, says team member Shane Ferrator at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. For now, the only humans in space venture no further than the International Space Station. Astronauts are carefully screened for health issues before leaving Earth, and the ISS has an escape capsule standing by in case of emergencies, so home is just a few hours away. Many worrisome health issues that can occur in space return to normal back on Earth, but NASA has plans for human missions to an asteroid and eventually to Mars, and getting home won't be an option. Surgery in space would be extremely difficult. Without gravity, it's easy for bodily fluids like blood to flow free and contaminate the cabin. And space capsules can only carry a certain amount of weight, so medical tools need to be relatively light but capable of handling many kinds of situations. Virtual Incision has been working on its design for a few years. The latest version weighs only 0.4 kilograms. It has 2 arms loaded with tools to grab, cauterize, and suture tissue, and its head is a small video camera. The feed relays to a control station where a human surgeon operates it using joysticks. Prototypes have performed several dozen procedures in pigs. The team says the next step is to work in human cadavers and then test the technology in a living human on Earth. Wow. Well, next story, look out, Moon! A private company has sent its lunar lander steering system on a test flight, taking one small step towards a planned moon mission next year. Astrobotic of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is one of 18 teams competing for the Google Lunar X Prize, which offers $20 million to the first private group that lands a spacecraft on the moon, has it travel at least 500 meters, and receives 2 videos from their lunar vehicle, and all by the end of 2015. The team's hoped-for lunar destination is a basin called, the Lake of Death, where astronomers have spotted a pit with a collapsed wall that could act as a natural ramp down into an underground cave. This location would provide natural shielding from micrometeorites, cosmic radiation, and other hazards on the lunar surface. The rocket used in the desert test can only reach suborbital heights, so Astrobotic has a different ride lined up for their moon shot. The company has signed a deal with private firm SpaceX of Hawthorne, California, to launch their lander on a Falcon 9 rocket akin to the one now being used to send astronauts to the space station. Well, that's all for this edition of Science in the News. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.